Hi, and welcome to the letter Q as in questionnaire. I'm quite sure that some of you who are passionate of and interested in Italian fashion already have a list of questions pop up while watching these episodes. Questions, for instance, such as, are there any fashion museums in Italy? Where could I get a degree in fashion? And again, which books should be read or purchased in order to nurture an interest in this topic? Well, let's start with the temples of fashion. Italy doesn't have a single national museum of Italian fashion, which wholly embraces our rich history. Despite many efforts, we don't have the equivalent, for instance, of the Parisian Palais Galliera, fully dedicated to French fashion. Neither we have institutions such as the Costume Institute of the Metropolitan Museum of Art or the Fashion Institute of Technology, both in New York, or the Victoria and Albert Museum in London, which not only have significant collections of Italian fashion, but also boast in-house curators who, from time to time, organize specific exhibitions on Italian fashion or leading Italian designers. Nevertheless, we do have museums dedicated to 19th and early 20th century fashion, such as Museum Buoncompagni Ludovisi in Rome, Palazzo Morando in Milan, and the Pitti Palace Museum of Costume and Fashion, which, however, as we speak, is temporarily closed. We should also include on this list the museums, archives, and foundations sponsored by and dedicated to single designers. We have already mentioned them: Armani Silos, Gucci Garden, Valentino Virtual Museum, Salvatore Ferragamo Museum, Max Farah Fashion Archive, Fortuny Museum, Fondazione Gianfranco Ferré. The Fondazione Cappucci, as we speak, seems to be permanently closed. Also, we cannot forget the museums dedicated to specific topics such as the Textile Library in Prato, Tuscany, and the Shoe Museum in Vigevano, Lombardy, a town known for being the epicenter of shoemaking. And now, ready to study? Here are the best university programs. In Milan, Politecnico offers a 3-year degree in fashion design, Ulm in fashion and creative industries, NABA in fashion design and textile design. In Venice, UAF has a 3-year program in fashion design and multimedia. University of Bologna's Rimini campus provides a degree on fashion, culture and trainings, and Università La Sapienza in Rome in fashion and costumes. For master's degree, check Università Cattolica del Sacro Cuore, Università degli Studi di Milano and NABA, all in Milan, as well as Università La Sapienza in Rome. Specifically interested in fashion design, marketing, merchandising, and everything in between, among the schools which boast a very good reputation are Polimoda in Florence, which offers a 4-year degree and master's program in English, Domus Academy in Milan with Italian, English, and Spanish language postgraduate and professional courses in fashion, industrial design, and business, yet in Milan and Rome with classes both in Italian and in English, as well as master's program. And last but not least, Accademia Costume e Moda, which offers undergraduate, master's, and specialization courses in Italian and in English, as well as May Campus, a 9th-month intensive programs in Italian, which teachers from most prestigious Italian university. It also sets up 14 scholarships every year. Now, let's try to build a home library. Fashion coffee table books are abundant, but few of them are really useful. In other words, there are tons of fashion designs monographs, which are beautifully printed, very rich in photographs, but extremely slim in words. So let me suggest you just a few and hopefully useful books. All of them are in English and written by well-regarded fashion critics, anthropologists, and historians. Let's start from The Origin of Italian Fashion by Sofia Agnoli and the monograph dedicated to the Spanish designer Mariano Fortuny, and check the letter P to refresh your memory. The monography is by Guglielmo de Osma. specifically focused on fashion from the late 20s to the mid-40s are Fashion at the Time of Fascism by Mario Lupano and Alessandra Vaccari and Fashion Under Fascism by Eugenia Paulicelli. Now, a couple of monographs of two almost forgotten couturiers from the 50s and the 60s. Vicky, the Milanese couturier who dressed the soprano Maria Callas, is the topic of the volume by Simone Segre Reinach, while the Wonder Boy Roberto Capucci, and check the letter M, is the subject of this catalog linked to a retrospective at the Philadelphia Museum of Art in 2011. And speaking of catalogs, here's Fashion Italian Style by Valerie Steele, which focuses on our fashion history from the beginning to the year 2000. The eponymous exhibition, sponsored by the Italian Trade Commission, was held at the Fashion Institute of Technology in New York City back in 2003. For a panoramic view of Italian fashion, don't miss Bellissima, Italy and High Fashion 1945-1968, a book based on a show curated by Maria Luisa Frisa and Stefano Tonchi, which opened in Rome in 2014, as well as The Glamour of Italian Fashion since 1945 by Sonnet Stalfield, the catalog of 2015 retrospective at Vittoria and Albert Museum. Italiana, Italy Through the Lens of Fashion 1971-2001 is the catalog of the eponymous exhibition organized by the aforementioned Maria Luisa Frisa and Stefano Tonchi in Milan back in 2019. And specifically on designers, I would suggest Prada and Schiaparelli Impossible Conversations from the 2012 exhibition at the Metropolitan Museum's Costume Institute, Shocking, the art and fashion of Schiaparelli based on the amazing 2003 show at the Philadelphia Museum of Art, and Shocking, the surreal world of Elsa Schiaparelli, which accompanies the recent retrospective at the Musée des Arts Décoratifs in Paris. Last but not least, this Giorgio Armani tome celebrating the 2001 tribute at the Guggenheim Museum in New York. Finally, for a quick panoramic view of selected designers, keep in mind the series Little Book of and Vogue On. Some of them are dedicated to our major contemporary designers. And for staying up to date on the latest fashion studies and research, check these online scientific fashion publications. Thanks for listening. And keep in mind what the legendary costume designer Heated Hat said. Fashion is a language. Some know it, some learn it like an instinct. Goodbye.